We're not here just to listing facts, you'll discover fascinating stories, surprising strategies, and the legacy these armies left behind. Stick around, because at the end, I'll ask you a question that could spark some heated debates in the comments. Napoleon's Grand Armée. In 1812, Napoleon Bonaparte, one of history's most brilliant military strategists, created the Grand Armée, a multinational force of over 600,000 soldiers. The largest Europe had ever seen at the time. This massive force included troops from France and allied nations like Austria, Prussia, Italy, and Poland, showcasing Napoleon's ability to unify diverse factions under his command. The Grand Army's mission was to conquer Russia, a key element of Napoleon's strategy to maintain dominance in Europe. However, the campaign turned disastrous. Initially, the French forces advanced successfully, even capturing Moscow. Yet, the Russian strategy of scorched earth, destroying resources to deny their use to the enemy, left the Grand Armée without supplies. As winter set in, temperatures plummeted, diseases spread, and Russian counterattacks intensified. By the time the remnants of the army retreated, only around 10% of the original force survived. This catastrophic failure not only ended Napoleon's dominance but also reshaped European geopolitics. 9. Ottoman Empire Army. During the 16th century, the Ottoman Empire maintained an army of approximately 3 million soldiers, making it one of the largest and most formidable military forces in history. The core of this army included the legendary Janissaries, elite infantry troops trained from a young age and renowned for their discipline and loyalty. The Ottoman military utilized cutting-edge technology for its time, particularly in artillery. Massive cannons, such as the ones used during the 1453 siege of Constantinople, were instrumental in their expansion. The empire stretched across 3 continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa, controlling key trade routes and influencing global politics. The army's sophisticated logistics system ensured the movement and supply of troops across vast distances, enabling victories in major battles like Mohacs and the long-standing siege of Vienna. While the Ottomans' dominance lasted for centuries, their reliance on traditional methods eventually lagged behind Europe's rapid military modernization, contributing to their decline. 8. The Mongol Army. In the early 13th century, the Mongol Empire, led by the visionary Genghis Khan, assembled an army of nearly 1 million soldiers. While smaller than other armies in terms of numbers, the Mongols compensated with unmatched strategy, mobility, and adaptability. Their troops were highly skilled in horseback archery, able to shoot accurately while riding at full speed, a capability that terrified their enemies. The Mongol army was a master of psychological warfare and siege tactics, often demanding surrender to avoid the slaughter of civilian populations. Their innovative use of intelligence and communication, including relay stations across their empire, allowed them to coordinate campaigns over vast distances. Their conquests were unparalleled, creating the largest contiguous land empire in history, stretching from Eastern Europe to the Pacific coast of Asia. The Mongols' legacy lies not only in their military achievements but also in their role in facilitating trade and cultural exchange along the Silk Road, effectively connecting East and West. 7. British Army. By the end of World War I in 1918, the British Army, supported by forces from across the British Empire, had grown to 8.9 million troops, making it one of the largest global military forces of the time. This army was unique in its composition, drawing soldiers from colonies like India, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa. The British military's contributions were critical in major battles such as the Somme, where over 1 million men were wounded or killed, and Ypres, where soldiers endured devastating chemical attacks. Despite heavy losses, the Army's resilience and technological advancements, including the introduction of tanks and coordinated air support, helped tip the scales in favor of the Allies. The global nature of the British Army showcased the vast reach of the British Empire, but it also highlighted the sacrifices made by colonial soldiers, who often faced discrimination despite their pivotal contributions. 6. Mughal Empire Army. At its peak in the 17th century, the Mughal Empire commanded a massive military force of approximately 4 million soldiers, including a blend of cavalry, infantry, and artillery. The Mughal army also featured thousands of war elephants, which were not only used in battle but also symbolized the empire's immense wealth and power. The Mughals were pioneers in the use of gunpowder in South Asia, employing advanced cannons and muskets to great effect. Their military success allowed them to dominate the Indian subcontinent, ruling over a population of nearly 150 million people. This vast army was supported by an efficient administrative system that ensured the timely collection of taxes and resources to sustain their campaigns. Beyond their military achievements, the Mughals left an enduring cultural legacy, blending Persian, Indian, and Islamic influences. Their empire's wealth funded iconic architectural projects, including the Taj Mahal and the Red Fort. 5. Nazi Germany's Wehrmacht. Between 1939 and 1945, Nazi Germany mobilized an astonishing 18.2 million soldiers, creating one of the most formidable military machines of the 20th century. The Wehrmacht revolutionized modern warfare with its blitzkrieg tactics, rapid, coordinated assaults involving tanks, infantry, and air support. These tactics enabled early victories in Poland, France, and the Soviet Union. Despite its initial success, the Wehrmacht faced significant challenges as the war progressed. The invasion of the Soviet Union stretched their resources thin, and the harsh Russian winter, combined with fierce Soviet resistance, led to catastrophic losses. Fighting on multiple fronts against the Allied powers further weakened their position, ultimately leading to Germany's defeat. The Wehrmacht's campaigns left a devastating impact on Europe, both militarily and socially, marking one of history's darkest periods. 4. People's Liberation Army. In the 1980s, the People's Liberation Army became the largest standing military force in the modern era, with over 4 million active troops. Founded during the Chinese Civil War, the PLA was instrumental in the establishment of the People's Republic of China in 1949. The PLA evolved rapidly, playing a key role in conflicts such as the Korean War, where Chinese forces engaged United Nations troops led by the United States. Over the decades, the PLA shifted its focus toward modernization, embracing advanced technologies like drones, cyber warfare capabilities, and space-based systems. Today, while its size has decreased, the PLA remains a central pillar of China's growing global influence, symbolizing its emergence as a superpower. 3. Imperial Japanese Army. By the end of World War II, the Imperial Japanese Army had mobilized 6 million soldiers, making it a dominant force in Asia and the Pacific. Japanese troops were known for their fierce loyalty to the emperor and their willingness to fight to the death, exemplified by the notorious Banzai charges. The army's aggressive campaigns resulted in the occupation of vast territories in China, Southeast Asia, and the Pacific Islands. However, their reliance on outdated strategies and their failure to anticipate the industrial and technological superiority of the Allies led to significant setbacks. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki marked the end of their ambitions and the war itself. 2. United States Armed Forces. The United States mobilized 12.2 million troops during World War II, creating one of the most powerful military forces in history. American soldiers played pivotal roles in both the European and Pacific theaters, engaging in critical battles such as D-Day, the Battle of the Bulge, and Iwo Jima. The U.S. military's industrial base ensured a steady supply of weapons, vehicles, and aircraft, giving it a decisive edge. Innovations like the Manhattan Project culminated in the development of nuclear weapons, which ultimately ended the war and established the U.S. as a global superpower. Coming up next, you'll see an army that reshaped the world but fell apart almost overnight. Can you guess which one it is? 1. Soviet Red Army. The Soviet Red Army holds the record for the largest army in history, peaking at 34.5 million soldiers in 1945. Its role in defeating Nazi Germany on the Eastern Front was crucial, with legendary battles like Stalingrad and Kursk turning the tide of the war. Despite suffering immense casualties, the Red Army's resilience and sheer numbers overwhelmed German forces. The capture of Berlin in 1945 marked the end of the war in Europe and the beginning of Soviet dominance in Eastern Europe, setting the stage for the Cold War. Conclusion. These armies, each unique in size, strategy, and legacy, have shaped the course of history. Their stories reflect humanity's capacity for both greatness and destruction. Which army do you think had the most significant impact? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights into history.